it's Julie with Juls Journey, and I just wanted to take a minute and talk to y'all about my journey and how my journey started years ago, and about my pregnancies, and then tell you about how I really got started for real a few months ago after this last pregnancy, and kind of what I would love to do with my channel. So, when I was 16, I got my first job and I started working at a gym. I was the daycare worker, so wasn't like I actually did much with the equipment, but that did give me a membership to the gym. And then my boss took the time and he showed me how to use a lot of the equipment. So every night when I got off work, I would work out for an hour, and I would work out pretty hard, and then I would leave and I would go and do this thing that was not the best idea. I would go to Jack in the Box and I would get tacos, a large curly fry, a large drink, and I would eat all of that. So I wasn't getting super fit, I wasn't losing weight, I wasn't gaining a lot of muscle, but I also wasn't gaining a lot of fat from the food I was eating. So I was definitely trading off what I was doing, but I knew that, and sadly enough, I was okay with that. So that went on for a good couple of years, and then I got married when I was 18, and so I quit working at the gym, and we would use some free weights at home, and we would work out, and then we would just go on walks and sometimes go jogging and stuff like that every once in a while, but nothing too serious at that point. And then when I was 19, I got pregnant with our first, and I told everybody I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to lay around. This is the only pregnancy I would get to lay around. I'm not going to worry about what I eat, anything. I'm just going to veg this whole pregnancy. Horrible idea. Don't do it. I did, stupidly. I gained 65 pounds, a ton of stretch marks, cellulite, all the works. Then at the end of the pregnancy, I ended up getting preeclampsia, having to be induced with her due to crazy high blood pressure. The blood pressure stayed for 6 months after she was born, so it was very hard for me to focus and be able to handle anything. My mental state was totally off because my blood pressure was so high. It was totally whacking out my whole body. It was just a very unfortunate thing, but I brought it upon myself. I did not eat healthy at all. Mini Oreos were my food of choice. It was basically like a drug at that point. I just ate them all the time and sat around and vegged. It was pretty sad. Then when she was 6 months old, my blood pressure got back to normal. I would start going outside and running around the house, and I would be able to do it like 3 times, and then I'd be done. And then I'd go up and down our stairs and run up and down our stairs. And then I've never been able to jump rope, but I would go out there and I'd try and try and try and try to jump rope. And I never did learn how to get more than a few times. And my legs were sure enough beat up from trying so much. But I was just doing anything I could to help get that weight off. I just wanted to get back down. So I lost my weight, and I lost 5 pounds under my pre-pregnancy weight. And then I got pregnant with my second. My first was a year old when I got pregnant with my second. And then in his pregnancy, I did a little bit. I got some kind of cardio DVD thing, and I would do it some, jump around, basically, one of those jump around cardio things, kick and punch and whatever with it. So I would do that when I was pregnant with him. I did it here and there, and I did it 10, 20 minutes a day, maybe. Then I'd get down on the floor and play with her. And so I tried to do better. I learned that eating 80 grams of protein a day would help significantly reduce the possibility of getting preeclampsia. So I made that a deal, like I was going to get in 80 grams of protein a day. It was so hard for me. I didn't know how in the world this was possible. I thought this was insane. I couldn't figure it out. But I did it. I made sure I got in 80 grams every day, and that's pretty much all I would get in every day is just 80 grams. And then, so I had him. He ended up being a C-section baby, and so I was down for a solid 6 weeks before I could start doing much of anything. And then I did my little DVD thing, and then I'd go outside and run around the yard. That's what I did the most after he was born. So I'd go out and run around the yard. I'd try to jump rope some. That took me a while till I felt like I could do that because my gut, yeah, it was sore for a really long time. And then what came next? We decided to do P90X. That was insane. I couldn't do it well. At the end of each session that we did, I would feel like I was going to throw up, that I was going to pass out. I mean, I felt horrible. And I was fighting so hard to be able to breastfeed my son, taking all kinds of supplements to breastfeed, that I was like, I am not risking my breastfeeding relationship for this workout. So I stopped. And my husband went on and completed the 90 days there. And then a few months later, our son was probably 8 months old. We decided to get a home workout equipment thing. It had a cable in it, and then it had an area where you could have the bench press, but it was all pretty compact. Anyway, so we got that, and when my son was 10 months old, I decided to go in there and do some knee raises, like hold myself up and then do knee raises. I have always been able to do that, and my abs were really super strong when I worked at the gym. You never could see them because of my horrible diet, but they were there. They were very strong. I could outdo most people in my abs. Anyway, I went and tried to do that, and I made myself do 10, but I felt like my stomach was going to rip open, and it was so painful. 2 weeks after, I still felt like my stomach was just going to rip apart anytime I moved or did anything. It really showed me how much having had that C-section really whacked out my lower abs. So I would work out here and there after I had my second. I didn't ever work out really hard. I started very slowly working on my abs, and then I would just run around the house, run around outside, pretend to jump rope, do that little workout video thing. And then I lost my weight again. I lost back down underneath that pregnancy. I lost, about 5 pounds underneath that pre-pregnancy weight. And then I got pregnant with my third. And I got pregnant with him. My oldest was about 2 at that point, I want to say, when I got pregnant with my third, somewhere in there, about 2.5 years apart. So maybe my oldest was over 2, right over 2. Anyway, my oldest son. So then I got pregnant with my third, and in his pregnancy, I was eating even better because I had learned after my second pregnancy how to eat some better, and how to get in a little bit more protein and things like that. Still wasn't eating too grand, but in my third pregnancy, I actually got in 80 grams of protein a day pretty easily, if not more, and I really worked on getting in some veggies and some good food. It's still, like, I still had desserts fairly often. I still had chips and pre-packaged stuff often during my third pregnancy. But I was doing better, and I would work out with him. I would do cardio. I got a prenatal DVD on how to exercise when you're pregnant. So I did that cardio stuff with him. And then I would dance with the big kids a lot, and then we would go outside and we'd jog around the car or something. Little, not big car. I didn't go too crazy in his pregnancy. I would hate to get too much of a workout. That was kind of my motto. Unspoken motto, but I think it was in my head. Anyway, so his pregnancy, I gained 45 pounds. So I gained 65 my first, then 40 my second pregnancy, and then I gained 45 with my third pregnancy, and it was my healthiest pregnancy so far. So I was getting a little annoyed, like, why am I gaining so much weight? But I had him, and I had an all-natural birth, and he was came water birth. It was amazing, and he was huge. He was so much bigger than the other kids, and he was just so healthy, especially compared to how healthy the other kids were. They were all healthy, but he was just so healthy compared to the others. I was like, you know what? Apparently, I just gained 45 pounds. My body doesn't like starting out at 121.17. My body needs that extra for my baby. Okay, I can handle that. So he's born. About 3 months after he's born, I start working out, and we find out we're going to move. So I start going through the house and decluttering and going through everything and deciding what we're keeping, what we're getting rid of, blah, blah, blah. But I wore him. I'd put him on my back, and I'd do a lot of squats with him, and I'd get down and move around. So I was doing a lot of movements that weren't normal for me, and my body was really enjoying those movements, and my muscles were changing, and my appearance was changing, and it was pretty cool. And then we moved when he was 6 months. So I'm unpacking, and I'm putting everything down into low shelves, and I'm wearing him on my back the whole time. And my legs, muscles just started appearing all over the place, and it was amazing. I was surprised. I didn't know that my body could do that, but I was eating a lot healthier. I wasn't eating junk food nearly as much, and I was still sticking with getting in a lot of protein every day. And so I was being better. I was being more regular about when I ate, and I was eating more every 1 to 2 hours. Yes, I eat really often. 1 to 2 hours, but not big meals, like little bits, just little bits of food, and just fueling myself throughout the day so my body's burning what I'm doing. So my body started changing and transforming, and so then we decided to get a gym membership, and we went and started working out at a gym here, but that didn't last too long. I went 3 or 4 months, and then I didn't see a huge change in my body. I saw some change. I saw a little bit more muscle in my chest and my arms, but not a huge change because my diet wasn't spot on. It needed to be a lot more on to be able to get the effects that of the working out that I was putting in. We were still eating pizza pretty much weekly, and pasta also weekly, and ice cream practically weekly. And like, we were just enjoying having all these options, all these restaurants around us, and we were going and not choosing the best ideas on the menu. I wasn't. Neither of us were. We were just kind of really enjoying the food at that point. So we're putting in the workout, but we're not getting the results. So I only went 3 or 4 months, and then I started getting really discouraged and defeated, and going to the gym with these really fit women. It was hard for me because they could do it. I wanted to, and I couldn't. But the thing that I wasn't ready to accept is it was my eating. It was my choice. The reason it wasn't happening is because I wasn't making it happen. So I stopped going to the gym, and plus me and my husband, we weren't seeing each other very much because we had to go at different times to the gym. So he's gone all day at work, then we're at the gym at different times. And so we're literally just getting here, getting home in time for us to crawl into bed, go to sleep, to wake up again. Well, we weren't seeing each other, and that was getting really, really old. And so he went for 6 months, right at 6 months, and I went for like 3.5, 4 months. And then we stopped going to the gym, and we're like, what are we going to do now? So we talked about it and tried to figure out what we were going to do, because we wanted to keep working out. We wanted to be healthy. We wanted that for us, and we wanted that for when we get older and for our kids when we're older and now. And so then we decided to go and get some more equipment and figure out what we wanted to do, that we were going to lose our guest room and it's going to become a workout room, and we determined we were good with that. So we started researching, and we got a CrossFit setup. It came with the row machine, which I love to use for cardio. Only do like 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes at a time. And then it came with like a little cage, and you know, you can bench press off of it, pull ups, all that jazz. And then a box and a few other things. But anyway, we decided we wanted to get that, so we got that. We set it up, and then worked out a little bit here and there, kind of on and off. We both were kind of on and off. And then I found out I was pregnant with our fourth. And this time I had not lost back down to pre-pregnancy weight. I was still, I was like 15 pounds over my pre-pregnancy weight, but that was still like 133, 135, somewhere in there, when I got pregnant with my fourth. So that still really wasn't a lot of weight on my body. I'm 5'7", so 133, 135, I'm not that big at, but I was also not that fit at either. It was just, you know, kind of lumpy 135. Does that make sense? Yeah, it wasn't like muscle 135. Like, I'd love to get there, but I didn't last time. Anyway, so I got pregnant with her, and I started doing cardio, started adding that in slowly because I hadn't been working out hard enough. I added it in slowly, and the crazy thing for me was I'd go to do my cardio, my little DVD that I had gotten with my second pregnancy and I did with my third pregnancy. Well, I put that DVD in, and it didn't affect me. Like, I didn't feel like I was getting a cardio workout this time. It wasn't wearing me out like it had the other two. The other two pregnancies, like, I'm turning red, I'm huffing and puffing, I'm getting 10-15 minutes in, I cannot get to 30 minutes, I can't do it. And this time, I'm not having that problem. And I start realizing then that, wow, my cardio is better than I thought. And something else I did that I forgot to mention a while ago is after baby number 3, when we moved to the new house, we would go out on walks, and we'd walk 2-3 miles every night. And then sometimes I'd try to run. I'm a horrible runner. I'd try to run around with my big kids, and a lot of times I would actually end up wearing my third child on my back or on my chest, generally on my back for that. Anyway, when we'd be on our walks. So I was getting more of a workout than I thought. So anyway, fast forward, fourth pregnancy, I'm trying to get some cardio workout with my videos. It's not working. And so I go into our workout room and I start using the row machine. And then I can feel the cardio. So I'm like, that's cool. So I build up slowly but surely, and I build to where I can push myself harder. I'm still always very conscious about how hard I'm pushing. I do not want to push too hard when I'm pregnant. I'm listening to my body very closely to push how hard that I feel like my body can go without causing any distress on me or baby. And then I started going in there, and I hadn't been weightlifting very well. So I started weightlifting real gently with small weights, just doing gentle arm curls, body weight squats, stuff like that. I started doing like 30 minutes of stretches every day, kind of like yoga stretches. I hate yoga with a passion, but it was helping my body not hurt so much. On all my other pregnancies, my body's hurt like crazy when I'm pregnant. With her pregnancy, my fourth, she just woke up if you can hear her. with her pregnancy, my body didn't hurt because of all those stretches that I was doing. So I was spending about an hour a day working out, like 10, 15 minutes doing some cardio. Really, that would be more like 5 or 10 minutes. I would really hate to overdo my cardio. And then I would do 15, 20 minutes of gentle weightlifting, body weight squats, stuff like that. And then I would do 30 minutes of stretches. And then we would go on like an hour-long walk. And we'd walk around our neighborhood. And still at the beginning of the pregnancy, I would wear my third child. As I got about midway into my pregnancy, my body's like, yeah, one kid on you at a time is enough. Just do the one that's in your tummy. Don't wear the other one. So I would stop wearing the bigger one. He's a big boy, though. Anyway, so I was working out for a solid hour a day, if not 2 hours. And then we were eating even healthier, still not where we are today, but we were better. So I added in, so I had less carbs, more protein, and I was pulling back on sweets. I don't have any caffeine when I'm pregnant. There's a lot of things that I'm very specific about when I'm pregnant, especially my third and fourth pregnancies. I've learned to be more specific about things and cut out different things and do things that are better for my body and for babies. Anyway, so then I gained 40 pounds with her, right at 45 pounds with her also. So I started at 133-ish and ended at whatever 40 pounds is above that. And then I had her all natural water birth also. It was amazing. She was also big and healthy like my third child. So the pregnancies where I was the healthiest, my babies were the healthiest. There was a huge difference. In my little non-healthy pregnancies and in my big baby healthy pregnancies. So we had her, and then I stayed on bed rest or light activity for a solid 6 weeks. And it drove me nuts. By like week 2, I was raring to work out again. I was ready. But I waited. Then my midwife asked me to start, when I started working out, to start working out gently and working my way up and giving myself a few weeks to work up to getting to where I worked out hard and heavy. So at about 6 weeks, I started working out again, but I went very slowly till about 10 weeks postpartum, and then 10, 11 week area, I started really pushing. And even then, I still kind of watched how I was pushing because I didn't want to do anything to my milk, so I was really watching my milk very closely to make sure that anything that I did was not messing with my milk and with how much food baby was being able to get. That's a big part of my story. I've had lots of struggles with breastfeeding, and so that's something I watch very closely when I work out. I don't want to deplete that at all. So that was like at week 10. About week 12, I'm going, you know what, there's not been a change. She's just as happy. She's great. I'm just going to push all out. So about 12 weeks, I started pushing all out. And now here we are. She just turned 5 weeks. No, that is not true at all. Y'all, I've got my weeks and months all messed up. She just turned 5 months. I do not take any supplements at this time. If I am not pregnant and she decides to wean, I might start taking some. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm headed that direction. I don't think I'll ever get there. I think it's always going to be an evolving goal. I hope this gives you a little idea as to who I am, the journey I've been on, and where I want to go. So I want to be able to encourage you. I want to give y'all tips and tricks. If you have any questions about anything, I would love for y'all to post them in the comments, and if I don't know the answer, I will figure it out and let you know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe down below, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.